Part 1. Behind Closed Doors. The house on Ashgrove Lane looked ordinary. A modest two-story home with faded white shutters and a creaky porch swing. No one on the outside could guess what horrors played out behind its thin walls. Anna had stopped crying years ago. Tears had proven useless. Her husband, Mark, never changed, only got worse. At first, he was just controlling, picking her clothes, counting her calls, and checking the grocery receipts twice. Then came the shouting, the bruises hidden under long sleeves, the shattered dishes, and the icy silence that lingered for days. And now? Now he took everything. Anna worked 12-hour shifts at the small bakery on Main Street, kneading dough from dawn till dusk. Every dollar she made went into Mark's hands. "I'm the man. I manage the money," he'd growl, even though he hadn't held a job in 4 years. He drank more than he ate. When he wasn't screaming, he slept. Her mother offered no lifeline. When Anna had once dared to call her in tears, her mother snapped, "You made your bed, now lie in it. Marriage is hard. That doesn't mean you quit." Her voice was as bitter as the life she had forced Anna to endure. "A woman without a husband is nothing," she'd said more than once. The children, Lily, 9, and Aaron, 6, were the only warmth left in Anna's world. But even that was dimming. They had learned silence too early, knew how to disappear into corners, how to pretend they didn't hear Mark's raging or Anna's stifled sobs. Anna had become a ghost in her own life. One morning, after another long night of yelling, Anna stood in the bathroom staring at herself in the mirror. Purple circles framed her eyes. A fading bruise on her collarbone peeked from under her shirt. She didn't look like a woman anymore. She looked like a cautionary tale. She touched her lips and whispered, "Is this all there is?" Then a sound. Not a bang, not a scream, not a crash. A knock at the door. It was unusual. No one visited them. Mark didn't allow it. Anna's heart jumped. She rushed down the stairs before Mark could yell from his beer-stained recliner. When she opened the door, there stood a woman in her mid-50s. Pale gray hair, kind eyes, and something strangely familiar. "Hello," the woman said softly. "Are you Anna?" Anna nodded, confused and tense. "Who are you?" "My name is Eleanor. I knew your father." Anna blinked. Her father had died when she was a child. Her mother rarely spoke of him, just called him weak and forgettable. "I was someone he loved once, before he married your mother." Eleanor stepped closer. "I know I'm a stranger, but I've been searching for you for a long time." Anna glanced nervously over her shoulder. Mark was still in the living room, the TV blaring. "Now's not a good time." Eleanor pulled a card from her coat. "If you ever want to talk about your father or anything, please call me." She left without another word. Anna shut the door, heart pounding. She stuffed the card into her pocket, but her fingers clung to it the rest of the day like a lifeline. That night, after Mark passed out drunk, Anna sat by the window with the card. The number stared back at her like a key she'd never known she had. She didn't call that night, or the next, but she started to hope. Part 2. The sound of a whisper. Anna waited 6 more days before dialing the number. 6 days of waking at dawn, baking loaves while her thoughts twisted like rising dough, and watching Mark drift deeper into his hateful haze. The card lived in her apron pocket, pressing against her side like a heartbeat. She would reach for it when she felt herself slipping, when Mark shouted at Aaron for dropping a spoon, or when Lily clutched her stomach because fear had made her too sick to eat. On the 7th night, when the kids had finally fallen asleep and Mark lay snoring on the couch, a half-empty bottle of whiskey clutched to his chest, Anna took the phone to the bathroom and locked the door. She dialed. It rang only twice. "Anna," said Eleanor, breathless as if she'd been waiting right by the phone. "I hoped it would be you." Anna didn't know what to say. Her voice caught. Her mouth opened, but no sound came. "You don't have to talk," Eleanor said gently. "Just listen." And Anna did. Eleanor told her stories, small ones at first, about Anna's father, David, and how he loved playing the guitar and feeding stray animals. "He was kind," she said. "The kind of man who offered his jacket to strangers and got misty-eyed at movies." Anna barely remembered him. A vague warmth. A song once hummed. She listened in silence, eyes burning. Then Eleanor's voice softened even more. "I know your mother. I know what she did to him. To you." Anna inhaled sharply. "I should have come sooner," Eleanor whispered. "But I didn't know where you were. Not until recently." Anna found her voice. "Why now?" Eleanor didn't answer right away. "Because I think you're ready." And because I have something for you. Anna's hand trembled around the phone. What? A way out. Those words hit harder than any slap Mark had ever delivered. But Anna laughed bitterly. There is no way out. He won't divorce me. He'll kill me before he lets me leave. He controls everything. I know, Eleanor said. But there's more going on than you think. Silence stretched. I need to see you, she said. They agreed to meet the next day at the park on the edge of town. Anna could take the kids after work, like they were going for ice cream. Mark never asked questions anymore. That next afternoon, Anna stood in the shade near the swings, holding Aaron's small hand. Lily climbed a jungle gym nearby, her eyes darting nervously. Eleanor appeared, dressed in a pale blouse and jeans, her presence somehow both gentle and powerful. I brought something, she said. From her purse, she pulled out a manila envelope. Inside were documents, bank records, photos, letters. Anna stared at them. What's this? Proof, Eleanor said. That Mark is laundering money through gambling websites. He's been using your name, your social security number. You've been working to pay for his crimes. Anna's knees buckled. She sat on the bench. I have a friend, Eleanor continued. A lawyer. A good one. With this, we could get him arrested. You'd be free. Anna felt the air thicken around her. But the kids, he'll take them from me. He'll twist everything. And my mother, she'll side with him. Eleanor's face grew stern. That's why we won't do this through normal channels. We'll do it smart. Quiet. You won't fight him. You'll trap him. Anna looked at her children. Aaron laughed at a butterfly. Lily watched her mother with anxious, two-grown eyes. And something flickered in Anna, small, but fierce. Maybe there was a way. Part 3, setting the trap. It had to look like nothing had changed. Anna returned home that evening with the kids and acted as if she hadn't just seen her entire world tilt sideways. She made dinner. She folded laundry. She handed over her paycheck to Mark without blinking, though her hands trembled. She hid the envelope Eleanor gave her inside a hollowed-out book, one of Mark's old hunting manuals he hadn't touched in years. Then she waited for Eleanor's signal. It came 2 days later, a single text from a number saved under the name Aunt Ruthie, a name Mark wouldn't question. The fox takes bait in silence. Be ready. Anna burned the message after reading it. Eleanor and her lawyer friend, Marcus, had devised a plan. With the bank evidence and copies of Mark's betting history, they'd found accounts in Anna's name that could prove fraud, tax evasion, and identify theft. Enough to bring in federal interest. But it wasn't enough to ensure Anna's safety, not yet. So the plan was twofold: gather more evidence quietly, then get Anna and the children out before any legal hammer dropped. Eleanor offered her home as a safe house. Marcus had connections to a nonprofit shelter that worked specifically with women escaping abuse. Everything would be timed perfectly. All Anna had to do was endure, just a little longer. But Mark was growing suspicious. One night, he sniffed the air when Anna entered the living room. You smell different, he slurred. You seeing someone? Anna froze. No. Mark stood, towering over her. Don't lie to me. I was with the kids all day, she said softly. Then at work. He stared at her, eyes narrowed. Don't test me, Anna. Then came the shove. She hit the wall hard. Pain bloomed down her back, but she didn't cry out. She never did anymore. That night, while he snored, Anna crept into the bathroom. She opened the book, took out a small voice recorder Eleanor had given her. From that day on, she wore it hidden beneath her blouse. Every insult, every threat, every slap. She recorded it all. 2 weeks passed. Then 3. She began hiding small things, a few bills from her tips, the kids' birth certificates, her high school diploma. She packed them into a shoebox and placed it inside a cavity in the attic that Mark never visited. But one evening, Aaron burst into the kitchen crying. Mark had yanked him by the arm for spilling milk. That was the breaking point. Anna called Eleanor that night from the bathroom floor, her arms wrapped around her knees. I'm ready, she whispered. 3 days later, Anna took the kids to school and never went back. She didn't go to work. She didn't go home. She walked straight to Eleanor's car, which waited 3 blocks away. Are you sure? Eleanor asked. Anna looked down the street. A few brown leaves blew across the pavement. Summer was ending. Something inside her was ending, too. And something else, just beginning. I have to be. Eleanor's house was warm, quiet. There were no shouts. No slammed doors. Just space to breathe. The kids adjusted slowly. Aaron had nightmares. Lily wet the bed, but they started smiling more. Started drawing again. Started asking, "Can we stay here forever?" Meanwhile, Marcus moved quickly. Anna gave him the recordings, the documents, the timeline of abuse. With Eleanor's help, she filed for custody, protection, and criminal charges, all in one breathless week. But Mark didn't go quietly. He found out. Not how, not when, but he showed up outside Eleanor's house one morning, banging on the door like a madman. "Anna, you stupid bitch, come out." Eleanor called the police. They came. But Mark was clever, calm, and manipulative once they arrived. "Just here to talk to my wife," he told them. "Is that a crime?" The police left after a warning. Mark smirked as he got in his truck. Anna watched from behind the curtains, her heart beating like a drum. That night, Lily asked, "Mom, will Daddy hurt us if he finds us again?" Anna hugged her tightly. "No, baby, I won't let him." But Anna knew the truth. Mark was not done. Part 4, The Storm Before the Sunrise. Anna couldn't sleep that night. The image of Mark standing outside Eleanor's house haunted her. The twisted smile, the cold calculation in his eyes. She'd seen that look before. It always came before something broke. Eleanor set up a security system the next morning. Motion lights, cameras, reinforced locks. But Anna knew no alarm could truly stop Mark if he wanted in. Marcus filed a restraining order immediately, but the court date was still a week away. "Stay hidden. Stay quiet. We're doing everything legally," he assured her. But legal didn't feel safe enough. Not when Mark had nothing left to lose. 3 nights later, Anna woke to the sound of glass shattering. The kids were screaming. She bolted out of bed, heart hammering in her chest. Eleanor was already in the hallway with a baseball bat in hand, face pale but steady. "Take the kids," she whispered. "Get to the basement." Anna grabbed Lily and Aaron, who clung to her like lifelines. They hurried down the steps while Eleanor stayed behind. Then, silence, followed by footsteps. Heavy, slow, then a voice. "You think you can hide from me?" Anna shoved the kids behind the storage shelves and grabbed a wrench from a toolbox. Her hands shook so badly she almost dropped it. Mark's voice echoed through the vents. "You took my money. My kids. You think some old bitch lawyer and a washed-up hag can stop me?" He was coming closer. Anna heard a crash, Eleanor screaming, then silence again. Then, footsteps on the basement stairs. Anna stood in front of her children, wrench raised. Mark appeared, a cut on his forehead bleeding into his eyes. He looked deranged. He stepped forward. "Put that down, Anna. You don't have the guts." She didn't. But then a voice spoke, strong, fierce. "You're wrong." Behind him, Eleanor, holding a taser. The spark lit up the basement. Mark collapsed, twitching. The kids screamed again. Anna rushed to shield them. Eleanor stood over Mark's unconscious body, breathing hard. "I warned him," she said. Police came within minutes. They arrested Mark on the spot. He was charged with multiple offenses: breaking and entering, assault, child endangerment, fraud, and more. Anna sat in the police car with her kids, wrapped in blankets. An officer offered her tea. Her hands were still shaking too hard to hold the cup. Eleanor sat beside her. "You were brave," she said. Anna laughed, a dry, hollow sound. "I was terrified. That's how you know you were brave." The trial moved faster than expected. With the recordings, the financial records, and the break-in footage from the security cameras, the case was clear. Mark was sentenced to 15 years. But what shook Anna most was what came after. A letter, delivered to Eleanor's house 2 weeks later. No return address. Anna opened it carefully. "You think it's over. But it's not. You belong to me." Her hands trembled. Marcus contacted the authorities. The prison denied it was from Mark. "He doesn't have access to send mail without inspection," they said. But Anna knew the handwriting. She knew it too well. Mark had found a way. Or worse, someone on the outside was helping him. Eleanor burned the letter. "We'll increase security," she said. "You're still safe here." But Anna couldn't sleep that night. Because for the first time in weeks, she realized this nightmare might not be over. It might only be changing shape. Part 5, A Stranger in the Shadows. The days that followed felt stretched and unreal. On the surface, Anna's life had never looked more stable. The kids had started school again, this time under new names. The nonprofit Marcus connected them with had arranged everything: paperwork, new documents, even therapy for the children. But beneath it all, a chill clung to Anna like smoke. The letter haunted her. Every time she stepped outside, she felt eyes watching. A parked car down the street. A figure too slow to move. A call with no one on the line. Eleanor tried to reassure her. He's behind bars. The letter might have been sent before he was fully locked down. Or by someone pretending. You're safe. But safety, Anna had learned, was a lie easily told and rarely kept. Then, one evening, it got worse. She was picking up groceries when she noticed a man watching her from across the parking lot. Tall, bearded, wearing a baseball cap low over his eyes. She turned away, tried to dismiss it. But when she left the store, he was gone, and there was a note tucked under her windshield wiper. You run, I follow. You hide, I find. Anna drove straight home, shaking. Eleanor contacted Marcus immediately, and he brought in private security. Cameras. Patrols. But even he looked unsettled. If someone's helping him, Marcus said quietly, we need to find out who. Anna couldn't sleep that night. Every creak in the house made her flinch. She checked the children's bedroom 3 times. Lily was curled tightly around a stuffed animal. Aaron sucked his thumb, something he hadn't done in years. Then, at 3:17 a.m., her phone buzzed. Unknown number. One image. It was a photo of Aaron at the park, taken from a distance. Anna's scream brought Eleanor and the security guard running. Marcus called the FBI the next morning. While the investigation expanded, Anna's world shrank. She stopped going outside. She homeschooled the kids. The windows stayed shut. The curtains stayed drawn. She was a prisoner again, this time inside a safer cage. But then, something changed. A man was arrested in a nearby town for stalking another woman. When his phone was searched, police found dozens of photos of different women and children, including the one of Aaron. His name was Caleb Stroud, an ex-cellmate of Mark's. He had been released on parole 6 weeks ago. Eleanor and Marcus rushed to tell Anna. There's more, Marcus said. We believe Caleb was working on Mark's behalf, but also, he might have had his own motives. Anna's stomach turned. What kind of motives? Marcus hesitated. He told police he was going to return you to Mark, like you were property. But when they asked what Mark promised him in return, Caleb said he didn't do it for money. Anna's face went cold. He said, Marcus continued. He said she was his, but he'd share. The room spun. Eleanor put her arm around Anna, who stared straight ahead, numb. The terror Anna had buried deep came crashing back. This wasn't about fear anymore. This was about survival. 2 days later, Marcus came with another surprise. I want to show you something, he said, handing Anna an envelope. Inside were files from Mark's case, ones Anna hadn't seen before. At the very bottom, in a sealed note addressed to the judge, were words Mark had written before sentencing. If I go down, she goes too. She knows things. Ask her about the fire. Anna dropped the paper. Eleanor frowned. What fire? Anna didn't answer. Her face had gone pale. There was a memory she had buried. From long ago. Something no one else knew. Something even Mark had never let her forget. Part 6. The fire beneath the silence. The room felt smaller. Anna stared at the words on the judge's sealed note. Ask her about the fire. Eleanor leaned closer. Anna, what does it mean? But Anna couldn't speak. She was no longer in the room. Her mind had peeled away, drifting back to a night she had buried so deep it had nearly ceased to exist. She was 19 again, newly married, already bruised, already breaking. She and Mark had lived in a tiny rented house behind an auto shop. Mark was working nights, and Anna had just discovered she was pregnant with Lily. The stress, the screaming, the endless accusations, it all boiled over that night. Anna had left a pot on the stove. She'd stepped outside to breathe, just for a moment. When she came back in, flames licked the ceiling. The fire spread fast. She tried to put it out, screaming for help, but no one came. When Mark returned home to charred walls and smoke-blackened ceilings, he hadn't asked if she was okay. He hadn't cared about the baby or the damage. He just stared at her with that terrifying calm. You did this, he'd said. And then, he'd told everyone it was an accident. Told the landlord Anna had been careless. But in private, he never let her forget it. You owe me, he'd hissed for years. You're nothing without me. Remember that fire? You're lucky I didn't report it. You'd have been locked away. And she believed him. She believed she was the villain. Anna now sat on the floor of Eleanor's living room, knees tucked to her chest. I didn't do it on purpose, she whispered. Eleanor sat beside her. Of course you didn't. I was just so tired. I forgot the stove was on. I never wanted. You were 19, Eleanor said gently. That wasn't your fault. But Anna's voice was distant. Mark always said if I ever tried to leave, he'd use that against me. Say I was unstable. Dangerous to the kids. Eleanor shook her head. He was bluffing. We'll get the original fire report. Prove there was no criminal investigation. You have nothing to hide. Anna looked up, eyes hollow. He's always known how to make me feel like I do. Over the next week, Marcus pulled every file related to the fire. The official report stated no foul play. No charges were filed. It had been ruled a household accident. The insurance claim was paid in full. But what chilled Anna was what came next. Marcus found something else, something never disclosed in court. Caleb Stroud, the man stalking her, had been the one who processed that insurance claim. He had worked part-time at the agency 10 years ago. Their connection to Mark had started long before they were ever cellmates. This was planned, Marcus said. Not just recently, for years. Why? Anna whispered. Why would Mark go so far? Eleanor looked at her sadly. Because he needed someone weaker than him. Someone he could own. And when you started to resist, he panicked. Anna felt something in her chest shift. Not fear, but fury. She had spent her life afraid. But not anymore. The trial for Caleb began a month later. Anna testified, voice steady, back straight. She recounted everything. The stalking, the threats, the photograph of Aaron. The court listened. Caleb was sentenced to 12 years. And then, something unexpected happened. Mark requested to testify at Caleb's hearing. He was denied. But Anna received another letter. This one wasn't threatening. It was apologetic. I never wanted to lose you. I just didn't know how to live without owning you. She didn't reply, but she didn't destroy the letter either. She handed it to Marcus. Keep it, she said, as proof, in case he ever tries again. One afternoon, weeks later, Anna and the kids walked through the park. Lily laughed for the first time in what felt like years. Aaron raced ahead, chasing a squirrel. The air was cool, the sky bright. Eleanor walked beside Anna, her arm linked through hers. You look different, she said. Anna smiled softly. I feel different. And for once, she meant it. But deep down, she knew there was one final truth waiting. One last secret Mark had held over her. One last piece of the past she hadn't yet uncovered. And it was coming. Soon. Part 7. Truth in the Ruins. Spring arrived quietly, like a hell breath finally released. Anna watched the world soften, buds on trees, children flying kites, warmth creeping back into the earth. Yet inside her, the storm still churned. Mark hadn't written again since the apology, but Anna felt him. Even from prison, he had a way of lingering. Not just in her memories, but in things left unsaid. Eleanor sensed it too. One morning, while sipping tea at the kitchen table, she placed an envelope before Anna. It came through a legal intermediary, she said. From his lawyer. Anna hesitated, then opened it. Inside, a single-page letter and a copy of a birth certificate. Her eyes scanned the name. Father, Mark Elliott Granger. Mother, unknown. Child, Nora Granger. Born May 21st, 2005. Anna's heart dropped. May 2005. That was 4 months before Lily was born. Her hand shook. What is this? Eleanor looked grim. There's more. The letter explained that while Anna had been pregnant, Mark had fathered a child with another woman, a woman named Dana Hill. She was young, vulnerable, and gone shortly after giving birth. The child, Nora, had been in and out of foster care her entire life. The mother disappeared. The father, Mark, was never involved. But now, from prison, Mark had left Nora's name in his final appeal letter, demanding custody rights. He was claiming her as a tool, a weapon, a legacy. He's trying to tie you to this, Eleanor said, claiming you knew, that you helped hide it. Anna felt the floor drop beneath her. I never knew, she whispered. I didn't even know her name. Marcus, who joined them, nodded. We believe him filing this is strategic. To muddy your credibility, maybe reopen custody issues. But the girl, she's real. Anna stared at the birth certificate again. A half-sister to Lily and Aaron. A daughter of the man who broke her, abandoned, unloved, possibly lost to the system. Where is she now? Anna asked. Marcus hesitated. In a group home. 17. She's had a rough life. Anna's breath caught. 17. Almost an adult. Almost gone. And she'd never known. Anna couldn't stop thinking about the girl, Nora. Her face. Her voice. What she looked like. Was she angry? Did she even know her father's name? Did she know he was a monster? A week later, Anna visited the group home. She wasn't sure what she expected, but it wasn't this. A tall, thin girl with wild curly hair, guarded eyes, and a small scar beneath her chin. She looked nothing like Mark, but she looked everything like Lily. Anna sat across from her in the visiting room. Nora didn't speak, just stared. "I'm not here to take anything from you," Anna said. "I just wanted to meet you." "You're his wife?" Nora said bluntly. "The one he hit. The one he blamed for everything." Anna nodded, stunned. "I read the court stuff," Nora continued. "I'm not stupid." "I'm sorry," Anna said softly. Nora's mouth twisted. "Why? You didn't ruin my life." "He did." They sat in silence. Then Nora spoke again. "Why come here now?" Anna thought for a long moment before answering. "Because you deserved someone to come for you." It wasn't easy. No one waved a magic wand. But Eleanor and Marcus helped Anna file for temporary guardianship. Nora resisted, angry, sharp, defensive, but she didn't run. And slowly, impossibly, she softened. One night, she stood outside Eleanor's house, watching Lily and Aaron draw chalk on the sidewalk. Anna joined her quietly. "He tried to convince me he loved me," Nora said. "When I was 10, wrote me a letter, said he missed me." Anna's eyes filled. "He said the same to me. For 20 years. They stood there, side by side. Two women stitched from broken pieces of the same lie. "He doesn't get to win," Nora said finally. "No," Anna whispered. "He doesn't." And for the first time, she believed it. But Mark wasn't done. Marcus called a week later. He filed another motion. This time, through a new attorney. What kind of motion? Petition for early release. Medical grounds. Anna gripped the phone. "Does he have a chance?" There was a pause. "Maybe," Marcus said. "But there's something you need to see." He sent her the documents. One line stood out above the rest. "If released, I intend to resume full custody of my family." He hadn't named which child. Anna stared at the words, her hands cold. She looked at Lily playing piano, at Aaron painting his robot, at Nora sitting in the kitchen scrolling through her phone, pretending not to listen. He still thought they were his. But he was wrong, and Anna was done being silent. Part 8. The end of the chain. The court hearing was scheduled for a Tuesday morning in early May. Mark's new attorney, an eager man with slicked hair and 2 white teeth, submitted a stack of medical records citing chronic heart failure, anxiety, and poor prison conditions. The motion begged for compassionate release. Anna sat in the back row of the courtroom, her hands clasped so tightly her knuckles turned white. Eleanor sat beside her. Nora was there too, against all odds, arms crossed, but eyes locked forward. Mark entered in shackles. He looked smaller, paler, but not weaker. His eyes still carried that same calculating glint. He didn't look at Anna, not once. When it was Anna's turn to speak, the judge asked gently, "Do you have a statement to make in opposition?" She stood. Her voice didn't shake. "Your Honor," she began, "I was married to Mark Granger for 18 years. During that time, I was abused, physically, emotionally, financially. My children were witnesses, victims." She paused, taking a slow breath. "But that's not why I'm here. I'm here because this man does not stop. Not when he's told no. Not when he's in prison. Not even when the law says he can't touch us." She held up the letter, the photo of Aaron, the birth certificate, the stalking reports, all of it. He has continued to torment us, to manipulate others, to plant seeds of fear even from behind bars. Her voice grew stronger. "And now, he wants to be released under the guise of illness. But I know him. Illness doesn't humble him. It gives him new weapons." The courtroom was silent. Anna turned to the judge. "I don't want him dead. I just want my children safe. And they never will be if he walks free." She sat down. The room remained still. The judge reviewed the documents in silence, then looked directly at Mark and said, "Request denied. You are to serve your full sentence with no possibility of parole." Mark didn't flinch, didn't argue, but as the guards let him out, he looked over his shoulder, straight at Anna, and smiled. It took months for the weight to settle. Not the weight of fear that had started to lift, but the weight of rebuilding, of teaching her children, and herself, what peace felt like. Lily began composing music. Aaron made friends and joined a robotics club. Nora enrolled in community college. She wanted to study criminal justice. "I want to help girls like me," she said. "Like you." Anna beamed with quiet pride. They were healing. Slowly. Gently. Together. One warm evening in late August, Anna stood outside Eleanor's house, her new home, and looked up at the stars. Eleanor joined her, 2 mugs of tea in hand. "I'm proud of you," Eleanor said. "I was a coward for so long." "No, you were surviving. There's a difference." Anna sipped her tea and smiled. "I thought the miracle would be escaping," she said. "But I was wrong." "What was it then?" Anna looked through the window, where all 3 children sat around the table laughing. "The miracle," she said softly, "was realizing I never needed permission to be free." Epilogue. 1 year later. Anna stood in front of a group of women in a small, sunlit room. Some were crying. Some just looked tired. All of them carried stories behind their eyes. She was speaking at a women's shelter, her first public talk. "My name is Anna Granger," she said. "I escaped. I survived. And I found something I thought I'd lost forever." She paused. "Hope." Afterward, a young woman approached her. Black-eyed, trembling hands. "He said I'd never make it without him," the girl whispered. "That I'd fall apart." Anna smiled gently and held her hand. "That's what mine said, too," she whispered back. And then, "But he was wrong." The end.